day, learners, and welcome to session 8, which dwells on leadership theory. The importance of leadership cannot be overemphasized because the progress or retardation of every organization depends on leadership. The last session, we discussed motivational theories. We discussed the various approaches to motivation, study of motivation, including drive reduction, incentive, and all that. We broke them into content and process theories. Content theories discuss what motivates you. Process theory discuss how motivational choices are made. We then went into the discussion proper, starting with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the 5-point agenda, just like our Persians would say, which are hierarchical. Then we went to ERG. ERG theory is actually what it was to modify Maslow's theory and summarize it from 5 to 3. We also discussed two-factor theory, which talks about hygienic and maintenance factors. After that, we went to equity theory by Adams. We discussed the goal-setting theory by Locke, and we discussed theory X and theory Y, which is an investigation into how managers see their staff and the impact of this, their perception of staff, on what they all do. So with that on the background, a review of what we have done, we go into leadership theories, which is our session 8. When you have studied this session, you'll be able to discuss the classical theories of leadership and the relationship between them. In the Bible, we have what we call the Trinity: God the Father, God the Son, and God the Spirit. In management, there's also another Trinity, which is how these three theories we're going to talk about, threat, behavioral, and continuous theory, how they are related. We'll get to that before long. And you also explain with example the various emergent theories of management: servant leadership, transformational leadership, and all that. So that's what we intend to do at this session. So we start with the classical theories. The classical theories believe that leaders are born. So they have some traits, some characters, some characteristics that make them good leaders. If you look at it, talk about initiative, flexibility, charisma, EI, that's emotional intelligence, honesty and integrity, tactfulness, being able to manage a diverse audience, have diverse and motivation, eager to acquire knowledge, friendly and open. These are various items. There are various studies that gave rise to all these things, which talks about the trait theory of leadership. So leaders are born, leaders are people who have so and so qualities and characters and all that. Like I said, this is the example of the trait theories. Now we come to behavioral theories, and the poster boy for it is a managerial guide by Blake and Mouton. The behavioral theories generally talk about how the manager relates to both the work and the worker. Some of them are interested in the work. Even if you die in the process, don't give a damn. Some are interested in the worker. Even if you don't work, he doesn't give a damn. Of course, you know that, without being told, that the manager must be interested in both the work and in the worker. So, look at the 1-9 manager, which is called country club, the 9-9 manager, which is high concern for both, the 1-1 manager, which is low concern for both of them, which is called impoverished manager. The 9-1 is all interested in the work, but not on the man. The 1-9 is all interested in the workers, but not on the work. That's what you call country club. And then you have 5-5, which is at the middle of the road. So, if you have no concern for people and no concern for work, your own is finished. It's impoverished. Like I said, there are people who are pro-work. If you say, I'm sick, you say, so what? Are you the only one who is sick? That is the behavioral theory. It's a group of theories. Now, if you take it beyond this, you find out that how these theories work and how it gives you the kind of the impact it has. The one demands immediate compliance. The other one mobilizes people towards the vision. There are two different things. The other one is you must do it. The other one is let us, come with me. The first one is do what I tell you. The other one is please come with me. The other one is it creates harmony and emotional bonds. So people come first. The other one says, what do you think? We need to do so and so. What do you think? So it builds consensus through participation. The other one says high standards. That says do as I do. And the other one said try this. There you can see the concern for people and tasks based on these things. And they tell you when autocratic works, for instance, during crisis. This one, mobilizing people, is when their changes are required and all that. So beyond threat theory, we have that one. Now we have already discussed contingency theory when we were discussing the contemporary theories of management. The crux of contingency theory of leadership is that there is no best way to lead, and that leadership is a function of environmental realities, which are both internal and external. So we have threat, behavioral, and contingency, and these are what I call the classical theories. If you look at the image before you, you'll find out that these three theories are related. Why? Because what you do, that's your behavior. It's a function of your character, which is a threat, and it depends on the circumstances, which is the contingency. If the weather is very hot, if I'm the carefree type, I would like to remove my shirt. But if I'm in an office environment or a class environment, it will not work. So that because I'm a carefree type, which is my trait, I would like to remove my clothes because I'm feeling hot, which is the behavior. But because of the environment where I find myself, if you are an impatient person, which is a trait, you like to drive against traffic, which is behavioral. But when you remember the Lagos state government will seize and auction your car, the circumstance will force you to have a rethink. So that's why I call it the Trinity of leadership: threat, behavioral, and contingency theories. Because at any point in time that somebody is doing something, these three factors are at work. The kind of person you are, the environment, both of them will determine what you will do and what you will not do. These are about the classical theories of management. Now we come to the servant leadership. Servant leadership is very self-explanatory. It talks about leader as a servant. In the Last Supper, Jesus Christ washed the feet of his followers. He served them. So you think about your followers, you think about the need. At the home, rather than the man still as a guy at the top, you find he can wake up and fetch water for the wife and children. And if you look at the board, the inverted board, in servant leadership, the leader is below, carrying the followers. That rather than being on top and weighing down on the whatever. That's what we call the inverted pyramid. The key features of servant leadership include listening, empathetic healing, persuasion, stewardship, realizing that what you have, the power you have, your status, is held in stewardship as a steward for others. Commitment to the growth of others, building community, foresight, and conceptualization. These are the key factors in servant leadership. But the most important thing is that the leader is the one who serves the followers. Instead of waiting to be served, he serves the followers. Now, transformational leadership. You transform. It's a process that transforms and changes the employees. And therefore, its concern is about values, ethics, standards, long-term goals. it's at the end of it all, you find that the leader, transformational leader, will assess the motives of the employees and try to satisfy their needs and treating them as full human beings. Under this, we have both the charismatic and visionary leadership. So at the end of it all, you find that the employers do more than they are expected because the leader has given the community, he has, tried to meet their goals, and they is conscious about the importance and value of specified goals, therefore getting them to transcend their own self-interest for the sake of the team or organization and moving them to drive higher order needs. So rather than being autocratic, you find that the interest is to transform and develop the workers so that they on their own will move on. You carry them along. Not the way politicians carry along, because carry along in politics is about sharing money. Now, if you look at that transformational leadership we talked about, there are the 4 I's: inspiration, stimulation, consideration, and idealized influence. Inspirational motivation. How do you articulate the vision so as to inspire, to make them feel like moving in that direction? Idealized influence. You become a role model in terms of ethical behavior, making them very proud of what they do and helping them to gain both respect and trust. Intellectual stimulation. You challenge these assumptions and stimulate them in terms of their ideas so that they are challenged. They get new insights by your efforts at stimulating their intellectual whatever. And then individualized consideration. You look at each person. It is said that if a shepherd who has 100 sheep, if one of them gets missing, he will leave the other 99 and go and look for that one. And someone asks, what happens if the other 91 has gone before he comes back? People don't think in that direction. But that's giving you an example of individualized consideration. Everybody is important. So you attend to them on a one-on-one basis, recognizing their importance and making sure that they feel appreciated. So what we have done is to discuss, number 1, the classical models, which sees leadership as threat, behavioral, and contingency. We now compare the 3 of them to talk about the trinity, leadership trinity, because what you do does with your behavior is a function of the kind of person you are and environment. We talk about emerging, where we discussed servant leadership, transformational leadership. The other side of it is transactional leadership, which sees leadership as a business. What do I gain from you, and what can I gain from that? So I thank you for your attention as we prepare for the 10th, I think it's the 10th session. We're gradually coming to the end of this course. Thank you for your attention, and see you at the next session.